Investigations by law enforcement, by news organizations, by universities have found that you are more likely to get struck by lightning than for a non-citizen to vote. It is not just rare for a non-citizen vote, it is super rare.
So if the odds are like that, why not go ahead and pass the bill?
Mobile Pirate Radio.
I'm Rob Morris. This is NPR News That Matters. I watch the news so you don't have to. So why are the Democrats so worried about voter ID? The Save America Act should pass, and it is being debated in Congress right now. I've heard some doozies. Now, they say that brown people, black people, or women don't have enough sense to get their ID straight if women got married to vote. Come on, really? I mean, that's kind of racist, and it's demeaning of women. Because if you got married as a woman, you change your name, you got your ID straightened out, there should be no problem. But what really threw me a red flag was when one of the Congress people said, well, we passed the Save America Act and we fund Homeland Security and all that, then ICE agents are going to be all over the polling places. Duh. I mean, if they're trying to get illegal immigrants to vote, then they sure don't want ICE agents at the polling places, right? Think about it. Now it's a slow news day, so I got a story to tell you about back when I was in the Army, okay? A long time ago, back in '79. I was at Fort McClellan in Alabama with the National Guard training with the regular Army, boot camp. Now, when boot camp was over with, a friend of mine that I met there in the Army said, I'm gonna go to airborne jump school. Come go with me. Well, being in the National Guard, I said, no, man, I'm going back home to Mobile. I don't want to jump out of a perfectly good plane. I'm sorry, that don't make no sense to me. So he went. I later heard the story. When I hooked back up with him, I said, well, you went to jump school, huh? How'd that go? He said, well, I'm going to tell you something, Rob. He said, we had this drill instructor, this drill sergeant, that had such a mean personality, such a mean guy, big guy. He said he made Mr. T look like he had a sunshine disposition of a personality. This guy was mean. I said, okay, I get that. So what happened? Did you go to jump school and all? He said, yeah, I went. I went to the training, and when it come time to jump, I didn't want to. I said, what do you mean you didn't want to? He said, I looked outside that plane, I looked back at the drill instructor and said, Sergeant, I don't want to jump. And he was the last one to jump off the plane. The drill instructor says, boy, you have went through all this training to go to jump school and get your wings airborne and to jump out of the plane and be airborne soldier. You went through all this training and you're going to jump out of this plane. The guy looked at the drill sergeant, looked back outside the plane, and said, no, drill sergeant, I don't think I want to jump out of this plane. I'm not going to do it. He said, boy, you need to jump out of this plane to get your badge, you get your wings. He said, I just don't want it. You can keep the wings, drill sergeant. I don't want to do this. And that drill sergeant looked at him, all mean and bad, and said, boy, if you don't jump out of this plane, I'm going to drop my pants and stick my manhood where the sun don't shine. I said, well, did you jump? He said, yeah, a little. Nobody likes to pay taxes on their goods. And for a limited time, you can get quality printers, copiers, and scanners or ink cartridges by shopping at OfficeSystemsOutlet.com. That's right, tax-free, folks. You can't beat that with a stick. Use promo code MPR2026 for your 10% discount. It's just like not paying any taxes. That's OfficeSystemsOutlet.com.